If you are a parent going through this, or if you are a potential parent going through this, then you totally get it. I don't understand why we are not all for these types of medical advances. It is so fantastic that we have the capability of making something like this a reality. I understand
people say you're meddling with Mother Nature.
But aren't we in every aspect? Aren't we going to the doctors and getting antibiotics, having contraception? Are these not seen as playing God in some way? Of course it is, but these medical advances make it easier for people who have issues nowadays, and I think it's very important for us to remind ourselves that if we were in this situation, we might think about this very differently, and I think we need to be all for it. I think it's fantastic, and there are over 2,500 women in the UK suffering with these types of diseases. Some of them may make decisions not to have children because they could pass it on to their child, but this advancement would make that possible. Isn't that fantastic?
I think when you have the medical science, Janet, I mean, this is British scientists who are developing
the arguments against it are exactly the same arguments that they used against test tube babies, against genetically modified food. I mean, there's always an argument against an advancement of science, but once science has reached this point, I don't think that you can really stop it. And we already have a situation where parents are choosing the sex of their child, so they are already all over the world choosing to abort babies because they're the wrong sex, and so in a way we are already playing with God. So what I feel is that I agree with Jamelia that you can't stop science. It serves no useful purpose, and it brings joy to the lives of so many people.
Well, I think as well, anything that is going to stop children being born with life-limiting diseases, or, diseases that are going to cause them pain and anguish, can surely only be a good thing. The fear is that eventually it could be abused and people could be using it for designer babies, which I definitely don't agree with. But it would be all very well for me to sit here and go, oh, I don't agree with it, it's messing about with nature, when at home, touch wood, I've got 3, thank God, perfectly healthy children. And so who am I to say to a woman, well, I think you're wrong for doing that? Because I know, I always wanted children, and I would have gone through IVF or anything to have them. I desperately wanted them.
I think some of the people who are disapproving, or sometimes on religious grounds, but also saying that they feel that we don't know if it's 100% safe. But I was reading Professor Winston, who obviously pioneered IVF, saying that IVF in its early stages, they had no guarantees, but there were parents who were prepared to go forward with that. And now look at the advances in IVF, the joy that it has brought.
Well, what
to so
we
many
don't
families.
want are the leaders of the Church of England having a say in it.
I
think it should be taken out of religious ethics entirely.
Yes, so do I.
And I really get distressed when I hear that, the Archbishop of Canterbury having an opinion about it. I think it's completely and utterly irrelevant.
Well, they will have an opinion, won't they?
Yes,
because
but I don't think
as playing with Mother Nature.
But I think if this goes through the House of Commons, then it goes into the House of Lords. All these archbishops sit in the House of Lords and have a vote. Why should they have a vote on something which I think profoundly affects the lives of ordinary people in this country in a way that they don't seem to completely understand?